Good morning and welcome to my official last day on board the Norwegian Spirit. In about 1 hour, I'll be disembarking this beautiful ship. So this is my quick review of my 14-day Asia cruise, cruising solo on board the Norwegian Spirit.
I would like to inform you that there's no line in front of immigration. There are no lines outside, so take this opportunity to avoid.
I filmed a video every single day, so if you didn't watch those, then go back because it was such a fun trip, such an amazing itinerary. So this is the itinerary that I just finished. The cruise started in Taipei, Taiwan, then we went to Kaohsiung, which is also Taiwan, and then we had 5 different ports in the Philippines: Curaçao, Manila, Coron, Boracay, and Puerto Princesa. Then we went over to Malaysia, Kota Kinabalu, and then we had Mora, which is Brunei. Never been to Brunei before, my first time. Then we had a sea day, then Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, another sea day, and today we are in Singapore. The ship actually arrived in Singapore yesterday, and the ship's been sitting here for 24 hours. So it's been an amazing itinerary. And of course, it was Christmas and New Year's as well. Of course, there was a few negatives, which I'm going to talk about today because I feel like it's good to be honest. I don't like to be critical, but I like to be honest. But overall, amazing cruise. Like, the crew are absolutely incredible on this ship. And I think that this crew on this ship right now are happier than crews on other ships. I'll explain in a second why I think that. But the entertainment's been incredible. Food's been incredible. It's everyone. Well, most people that I've interacted with has been amazing, so friendly and so kind. But Norwegian does things very well. This is my 4th Norwegian cruise in the last year, and this one was very different than the other ones, and it's just been amazing. And I'm so happy, I'm so thankful that I got to do this itinerary. Like I said, Christmas and New Year's, they had big parties both days. The whole ship was decorated, and it's just been amazing. I've said amazing 100 times, but it's just been amazing. Okay, so let me talk about the ports. I've never been to the Philippines before. I've been to Taiwan, never been to the Philippines, so the Philippines was completely new to me. I was so surprised at what I saw in the Philippines. Beautiful country. Some of the kindest, friendliest people I've ever met in my life, Filipinos. But, this is a big but. You need to be prepared when you come here, because the places that we went in Philippines, especially Coron and maybe Puerto Princesa, so poor. Like, the poorest people I've ever seen in my life. Like, the poverty is so clear, and this $500 million ship just cruises into the town, and it's obvious as soon as you arrive just how poor the place is. And you will get hassled by people, taxi and excursions and everything, because these people, like, this is like their jackpot. Like, when a cruise ship cruises in and they try and take advantage of it. They're very friendly people. They act very differently to people in Europe, because I've cruised Europe. I've traveled in Europe many times. I've been to pretty much every single country in Europe. You get hassled absolutely everywhere, but it's very different in the Philippines, because a simple no and that's it. They're going to move on to the next person. That's not the same in Europe, because you go to Europe, people are going to be following you down the street. People are going to be shouting at you down the street. I never experienced that in the Philippines, but beautiful country, but very poor. The poorest country I've ever seen. The next port was Malaysia. It was not what I expected at all. It was very old, and there were people begging there, which really surprised me. I feel like if I don't go to Malaysia again, it's okay. It's alright, just because I wasn't that impressed by it. And yeah, it didn't blow me away. Not what I expected at all. And then we went to Brunei. Never ever thought in my life that I would ever go to Brunei, but it was definitely interesting. Again, was not what I expected. Didn't get that much time to see the town because I was on an excursion, which I'll talk about excursions in a second, because that was a big part of my cruise this time. But yeah, Brunei, got to go to Brunei. Cruising's the best. If you've never been on a cruise before, like, I've been to places that I never ever thought I would, because I went on a cruise. Like, it's incredible. But yeah, Brunei, interesting place. And then we went to Ho Chi Minh City. I don't really have an opinion about Ho Chi Minh City. Like, I wasn't that impressed by it. Very busy city. There's scooters everywhere. There's cars everywhere. You need to be very careful. Again, I did do an excursion, because the port is 2 hours, almost 2 hours away from Ho Chi Minh City. It does not dock in Ho Chi Minh City. So my suggestion is, if you ever cruise to Ho Chi Minh City, which is actually Phu Mai, that's where the port is, you have to do an excursion, because it's so risky going by yourself to the city, because you might not make it back in time and the ship's not going to wait for you. So I feel like you have to do an excursion if you go to Ho Chi Minh City, just because it's so far away. And Singapore, we arrived in Singapore yesterday, and like I said, the ship's been sitting here overnight, and then everybody's going to disembark today. Amazing place, beautiful. I was so surprised by Singapore. I liked it a lot more than I expected. I'm going to get off today, and I have a few days in Singapore just to explore, so I'm excited to see more of Singapore. But yeah, that was my 14-day cruise, and the ports are so different to Europe. They're so different, which of course it's not Europe, it's Asia. But the biggest difference that I realized is, so a few months ago I did an Iceland and Norway cruise. I've cruised the Mediterranean. Like, those ports are so walkable. Like, most of those ports you can literally step off the ship, you're downtown, you can walk around. Asia's not the same, but that's a big difference for me, because if you watch my videos, you know that I'd love to just walk. I love to arrive in a new place and just walk around and see what I find. You can't really do that here in Asia, just because, one, a lot of the cities are far away, and two, there's not much in the port cities, to be honest. For example, like Phu Mai in Vietnam, it's a village. Like, you literally drive through like 10 different villages before you get to Ho Chi Minh City. Like, you can't just get off and just walk. So yeah, I think that's the biggest difference I've taken away from these ports to European ports. So definitely be warned about that, because I did excursions for the first time in my life. Like I said, I've done 4 Norwegian cruises, never ever done a Norwegian excursion before, but this cruise I decided to take some excursions, and it was good and bad, to be honest. Okay, so I do have a list of negatives, because like I said, I like to be honest. The biggest negative for me was the ShoreX program. Like, shore excursions, it was so disorganized, and there's no reason for it to be that disorganized. Like, I did three different Norwegian excursions, and I feel like every single one left late. Every single one was just so disorganized, and the staff, they are not friendly. Like, they are not friendly. The shore excursions staff on the Norwegian Spirit, they are not friendly. I don't know why, but I think the biggest problem is the ShoreX manager, and I don't want to call her out, but I did not have a good interaction with her, and her name is Tamika. So Tamika, I feel like she needs help or something. She needs training, I don't know, but she doesn't know how to talk to people, and I didn't have a good interaction with her in Curacao, because I was on a Curacao excursion, and I talk about this in the video. So I had a Curacao excursion, and the ship arrived late, and then we had tender boats which had problems docking, and we arrived at the port late, and then I was supposed to get on a bus that was supposed to go 2 hours to the city, and then 2 hours back, and we just didn't have time. So I just decided that I'm just gonna jump back on the tender boat, go back to the ship, and I'm not gonna go on my excursion. And Tamika was there, and I saw her name tag. It says Tamika, Shore Excursion Manager. Oh, this lady can help me. In the end, the excursion ended up being cancelled. So I remember speaking to Tamika on the port, and she literally said, you have 2 choices. You go and sit on the bus and wait, or you go back to the ship. That was it. And I was like, can you like say something else to me? Like, can you, like, I'm trying to get a solution here, because I want to go on my excursion, which I paid for, and you're literally telling me go and sit on a bus for 2 hours and wait, or you can go back to the ship. It's up to you. So yeah, she needs training, and I feel like the whole ShoreX team needs training, to be honest, just because it was a disaster, and there's no reason to be disorganized. Like, we got to the theater and everybody's mixed up, and there's so many excursions going at the same time. There's so many excursions with the same name. Like, I had Ho Chi Minh City, so I was on Saigon Highlights. That was the name of the excursion. There was also a Saigon on your own, and people were so confused what tour they're on, where they're supposed to be sitting. Just have a section. If you're on a Saigon Highlights, you sit in this section in the theater. If you're on Saigon on your own, you sit in this section. It's so simple, but for some reason they made it extremely complicated. Everybody was confused, and the staff are not friendly, which doesn't help. But yeah, I think it goes down to the manager, to be honest, because she leads from the front, and I did not have a good experience with shore excursions on the Norwegian Spirit. My next negative is the Wi-Fi is terrible. This is the first time I've ever had a Wi-Fi, and to be honest, I'll give them some leeway, because I heard that they just changed their system to Starlink, and it's not working well. This is the first time I've ever had the More at Sea package, which is the drinks package, plus you get Wi-Fi. Like, I didn't pay for Wi-Fi, like it's part of the package. Well, I did pay for it, but it's part of the package that I get. And that's the reason why I did shore excursions, to be honest, because they're very expensive, and I got $50 off in every single port to do an excursion. So I was like, let me take advantage of it. So like $100 excursion, I would pay $50 because I got $50 off. And yeah, the Wi-Fi is pretty bad, to be honest. Like, it's so you can't really do much of it. The app, they just got a new app as well, so I'm going to give them a little bit of leeway, but the app is terrible. It's always wrong. And let me show you. So this is a freestyle daily. This is the daily schedule. You get a new one every single day. So this is the one from yesterday, and it has every single event that's happening on the ship. This is wrong every single day. I don't know if they have someone proofreading this, but they need to, because so many times, like, we've had music playing which we didn't even know was going to happen, and we're waiting for an event to happen because it's in here, but then it doesn't happen. Like, this is wrong every single day. And then the app also has the same schedule, also wrong. And the thing is, the app and the freestyle daily don't even match up. So the freestyle daily says something, the app says something else, and sometimes nothing happens, or sometimes something happens you didn't expect to happen. So yeah, they need to fix the app. But like I said, I think this is actually the first cruise I've ever used a new app, because at the beginning of the cruise I had two apps, because I had the new one and the old one, and then the guest services told me just delete the old one, it's not going to work anymore. So yeah, the new one, I hope it's going to improve, but at the moment not very good. Another negative is entertainment, and I don't feel like the entertainment on this cruise was top level. Like, I don't feel like it's as good as I've seen before. Like I said, I've been on a few cruises and I used to work on cruise ships, so like, I've seen a lot of cruise ship entertainment, and I feel like the standard on this cruise was not good. The best thing was the production cast, but we only saw them twice. We only saw the production cast twice in 14 days. That is not enough. Like, if they're your best, like if that's the best that you've got, like, you need to show us, you know? So the fact that we only saw them twice in 14 days, I don't think that's good enough. And I would love to have seen them more, just because the other shows, like, most of the time I didn't even go, just because it was not that good. We had a magician, we had aerialists, we had a few singers. Another great show actually was the trumpet player. His name was Chow. He's from Thailand. Incredible show. Like, he was so much fun. Very, very, very talented. But I would like to see the production cast more, just because 2 times in 2 weeks is just not enough. And we didn't even have a show last night. Last night was the last night of the cruise. There was no show. They literally just showed a movie. There should be a show every single night on a cruise ship. Like, I definitely watch yesterday's video because it was so interesting. It felt like they just completely forgot about the last night, because there was just not much going on around the ship, and I felt like they expected a lot of people to not want to do anything just because it was the last night, which, like, the pools were closed. I think that's completely unacceptable. Like, they were literally doing renovation work. Actually, today's a unique day. I'll talk later about the dry dock, but yeah, they should not close the pools a day early. I feel like that's not acceptable. Hello everyone, it's currently a week later and I'm just editing this video, and I completely forgot to talk about the lounge singers, because we definitely enjoyed listening to them, and there's some really, really good ones. The first one is B12. It's a whole band. They have a female lead singer. She's incredible. I think they were all from the Philippines, but every single guy in the band can sing as well. The guitar player, the bass player, like, there was a show where they took turns singing. Like, the girl was incredible, but every single guy can sing very well as well. The next band is Dial 2 Duo. 2 guys, so much fun. So much fun. Every single time they had a show, like, I wanted to be there, just because they were so much fun interacting with the crowd. And they were actually the band in Spinnaker Lounge during New Year's Eve. Dial 2 Duo, so much fun. And the show band, so that's the band that plays in the theater for the main shows. They were so good. They also did a couple of shows in the Spinnaker Lounge too. Such a good band, and they have so much fun too. And the last band I want to talk about is New Light Duo. And it's a boy and a girl. The girl's a good singer. She can sing pretty well, but the guy, he plays piano. He should not be playing piano. He's an incredible singer. Like, he sang a few songs that I was like, why is he playing piano? Like, he's such a good singer. Like, the first few times I saw them perform, he just kept quiet and he played piano, and the girl was singing. Like I said, she's a good singer, but the guy's incredible. Like, he needs to be a singer in a band. But yeah, they were the lounge singers that we saw. I have one more positive, and that's the crew. And the crew in general, in my opinion, like I said, I've done a few cruises. I used to work on ships, so I've seen a lot of crew. I think the crew on this ship, Norwegian Spirit, right now, they're happier than the other crews that I've seen. And the reason I think that is because of the guests. So the guests on this ship, a lot of Asians, some Americans, some British, a lot of Australians. In my experience, I've worked in customer service. Like I said, when I worked on ships, I worked in Asia, and then I went over to Australia. So I've worked with Asian guests. I used to live in China. Asian people don't like to complain. And I definitely feel like that rubs off on the staff, that rubs off on the crew, because they're not dealing with problems after problems. Don't get me wrong. there is a lot of rude people on this cruise. I think cruise ships may be the place that you can see some of the rudest people in the world. Like the entitlement of some people just because they paid for a cruise, just because they have the drinks package, just because they're in the dining room. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. Like, I cringed for people. Like, I got embarrassed for people that how they treat the crew on any ship, to be honest. It's disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself if you do that, because they are human beings. Who cares if you've paid money? They are human beings. You're a human being. You're not that special. Trust me, you're not that special. But I do feel that the less Western guests there are, the less complaining there are. And I'm putting British people in that because British people like to complain, American people like to complain, and Asian people don't. And that's the truth. Like, maybe you don't agree with that, but it's absolutely true. And it's not to say that they're not unhappy about the stuff, but they don't complain as much. Don't get me wrong. So many people have complained on this cruise. There's been so many complaints. There's been so many rude people, but not as many as I've seen in the past. And I do believe that's because there's less Western guests and more Asian guests. And like I said, that rubs off on the crew because they're not dealing with a lot of crap every single day, all day. So definitely, I feel like this is the happiest crew that I've ever seen on any ship. And that's great, because if they're happy, then we're happy and everybody's happy. Everybody's human beings. Let's just have a great cruise together. No need to be rude to anyone. These crew work so hard. You have no idea. Like I said, I've worked on ships. They are working every single day while you're off on the excursions, while you're off drinking at the bar. They're still working, but they're working for you. So, but that's completely irrelevant. Like, they're human beings. It doesn't matter if they're working or not. Just treat them as human beings and everybody has a good time. Okay, I need to go to breakfast before it closes. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is Vacation Heroes. Please do these. These matter so much. They help the crew members in their career. They get rewarded for it. And it's nice to be recognized for doing a good job again.
Good morning, dear guests.
Okay, so Cruise Heroes. The crew get recognized and they get rewarded for you writing good reviews about them. So if you ever have a good interaction with any crew member, please write their name down and remember it. And then at the end of the cruise, do a Vacation Hero. In a second, I'll show you where you can take these. But my Vacation Heroes this cruise are Savannah. She's an assistant waiter from the Philippines. Always so friendly in the Windows dining room. Thank you, Savannah. Next is Clarice. Maybe my favorite of all. Clarice is a hostess at the Taste dining room. Always so friendly. She always gives me a window seat in the Taste dining room. So thank you, Clarice. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Damien, he's actually the security officer, and we actually had a really good conversation with him on the tender boats in Curacao, and he was very honest about the process, and he was explaining like what was going on. There were so many problems that day. That's probably the most eventful day that we had. And yeah, we were sitting next to him on the tender boat, and he was very friendly. So thank you, Damien. And he's from Manchester, so he's English. Haley, ni hao, Haley. Haley is a Zhongguoren, and she's Chinese, and she's a bartender. Always so happy. She's always smiling. She has a great personality and she's so much fun, and I always had a good interaction with Haley. So thank you, Haley. And next is Lily. Lily is a casino pit supervisor, and actually a year ago I was on the Norwegian Getaway, and Lily, I speak Chinese, so Lily was the only Chinese crew on the whole ship. So I would go to the casino, watch people play the casino, and like talk to Lily because I like speaking Chinese. And I just bumped into her here. I had no idea she was on the ship, and then she was just so friendly. Every single time I go to the casino, I'll speak to her in Chinese. Like, she's so much fun and she's so friendly. And yeah, she's actually disembarking today, so I hope she got home safely back to China. But they're my Vacation Heroes, and please do them. They do matter, and the crew do get rewarded for those. Anyway, I need to leave my cabin right now. It is 8:21 because I need to go to breakfast before it closes at 8:30. I'm going to show you where to drop these off at guest services, and that was my cruise. I can show you my cabin one last time. So I had an interior cabin on deck 5015. This is an interior cabin. Yes, I was cruising solo, so this is all for me. There's a lot of storage here. Here's the bathroom, walk-in shower, and this was an incredible cabin. I'm right at the front of the ship. There's literally 5 cabins between me and the front of the ship, so it's a little bit of a walk if you want to get to places like the buffets right on the other side. I have to go across and then up, but incredible cabin. 5015, thank you, and goodbye. They are not welcoming any guests this morning, so people are getting off, but nobody is getting on. It's a very, very unique day today. Welcome to the atrium. So many people waiting to disembark. And then over here is guest services. And then this is where you can bring your Vacation Heroes. It's gonna go to Hannah, the general manager.
That one.
This one?
Yeah.
Ooh, almost the wrong one. There it is. Gotta get to the buffet before it closes. So many people just sitting around. Heading into the Garden Cafe one last time. Got my last breakfast. Mary's here. Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you feel?
So sad.
So sad. It's a sad day. Don't want to leave. Very nice last breakfast. Just taking a look at Singapore right here. Very soon we're going to be out there on our own. No all-inclusive food and drink. No entertainment. No service. The worst thing is the first time you need to buy food when you get off the ship, because we haven't paid for food in the last 2 weeks. It's been incredible, but it's going to be another very, very, very hot day today. Today's date is January 5th, and it's going to be hot again, and Mary's very, very sad about getting off, just like everybody. There's still so many people still on the ship. They do not want to leave. So earlier I mentioned that today is a very unique day. It's because there are no guests getting on the ship today. So we're getting off, but there's no one getting on. And usually turnaround day is a huge day. There's so many people around and taxis in and out, and yeah, people getting on and off. But that's not going to happen today because the Norwegian Spirit is going into a 4-day dry dock. That means there's not going to be any guests on the ship after everybody leaves today for 4 days, because they're preparing some other stuff. They just changed the free at sea package to more at sea, and they're taking away the Christmas decorations, like all of that kind of stuff. And I guess they're doing some refreshments around the ship. I just want to show you again, Spice H2O. Right there. This pool is closed right now, and it was closed yesterday. I still think this is completely unacceptable, because we were so excited. Like, we came back from Singapore early yesterday to go into the pool. We were so excited, but we couldn't. And there was guys working on it yesterday. Like I said, if they weren't going into a dry dock tomorrow, I would understand this, but they had to do it a day early and take away one pool day away from us. I think that's not good. That's not good. They literally should have started today, because we lost a pool day, and we literally, like I said, we literally came back to the ship early to go to the pool, and we couldn't do that. So yeah, that was a disappointment, but it's been incredible. It's an amazing ship, and it's going to be very, very easy getting off, but we don't want to get off. We're getting our last look at the Norwegian Spirit here. We've decided that it's time to go out there into the big wide world. It's a sad day, it's a sad day. Let's go to Singapore. Here we go, saying goodbye. Saying goodbye, Stardust Theatre. Goodbye. Mara's just doing her vacation heroes, and there's so many people still hanging out. They've made 3 final calls to disembark, and people do not want to leave. It is officially time to go. Oh no. So you have 2 choices when you disembark the ship. One, you can take your own luggage off, or you can put your luggage outside your cabin the night before and they bring it up for you. So mine is right here. There it is. So I actually got pulled out of the line while I was trying to disembark. They scanned my card and I was like, oh, there's a problem. And usually the problem is you need to go and pay your bill because you owe them money. But I was like, my debit card is attached to the account, so whatever I spend on board, like, it just comes out of my account at the end of the cruise. So then I go to like another desk and they say, oh, we owe you money. So they just gave me $46. I know where it came from. Like, I had an excursion that was cancelled, so then I rebooked an excursion that was cheaper. So then they owed me $46. So they gave me 46. Wow. We're gonna go through immigration here. I just had my passport checked over there. Welcome to Singapore. That's the end of my 14-day cruise. Definitely one for the books. Thank you so much, Norwegian Cruise Line. Thank you, Norwegian Spirit. It's been incredible. I film a video every single day, so if you would like to go and watch that series, then please go and watch that. Every single day was an adventure. Amazing itinerary, amazing ship. Everything that I talked about today was 100% about my own experience, and it's been so great. I'm so sad to leave. So sad, but I'm going to immediately start filming the next video because we have Singapore to go and see. We're going to be exploring this amazing place, and I hope that you want to watch it. So hit subscribe if you want to follow me on my next adventure. Hopefully there's another cruise coming up very, 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 very soon, because I love cruising. Hit the like to tell me that you enjoyed this video. Write me a comment. I reply to every single comment. Thank you, channel members, for supporting me. I appreciate your support so much. Click the join button below this video to become a channel member. Go and follow Mare Cruises solo, because she filmed every day as well, and we were kind of on this cruise solo together. So we didn't spend every single day together. We did some excursions together, but she, of course, she has her own perspective on things. She has her own opinions and her own experiences. So definitely go and watch her videos too. Go and subscribe to her. The link to her channel is going to be in the description. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Thank you. Goodbye.